sure those airlock doors are secure. Yeah, we don't want to revisit movie night or anything like that.
I'm being bullied by Tumblr. I have to delete it now.
For context, Grimmia just sent me a screen cap of an article that says 40 plus photos to justify your decades-long Val Kilmer crush. The algorithm on Tumblr must be doing some work.
Anyway, welcome back to Podcast Night on Gargantua-1, where we've completely abandoned the premise of the show and we're just gonna talk.
This is a bonus episode.
Yeah, well...
This is our Christmas special.
We've been gone since, like, October?
No.
I think.
No. Life has been hard for us. Like... 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago was our last episode.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't know what time it is.
If I go... It was... December 10th.
Oh, that's not that long ago.
No, so this is our Christmas special.
Yeah.
Because we wanted... we forgot to watch the episode. Could we have watched it last night instead of playing Valheim?
Probably.
But we're not gonna.
The caption, the thing I sent you is from a Tumblr post, which the caption says, "So real Pinterest, this is exactly what I needed." So out of curiosity, I opened my Pinterest. The first picture is a GIF of Johnny Lawrence from Cobra Kai, but the second one is a picture of Val Kilmer bowling. So
interesting.
The internet's bullying me. Oh, here he is in a hat.
Kilmer Trest. Pin Kilmer. Speaking of Kilmer, Kilmercast is coming back.
Yeah, that's the Ko-fi, the Ko-fi. Well, if you're in the Discord, you get to experience it.
Yes. So that's a reason you should join the Discord. You can... It's for the new people. Well, the new fans are definitely raking in.
Yeah. With our month-long hiatus.
Multiple month-long hiatuses. But now that the holidays are over, we should actually be back on track. So we watch a Val Kilmer movie, and we commentate it, and that audio file goes up on
YouTube.
Ko-fi through YouTube, and you play it at the same time you hit play on your movie.
Yeah, we give you a countdown. Yeah.
And this week, or the one that we're going to be watching, I don't know if it's going to be out by the time. It's going to be Prince of Egypt.
Yes. Is that what we decided on? Is that what
Prince of Egypt has 3 votes right now to Tombstone's 2 and Island of Dr. Moreau's 1. I
could change my vote. I could make it a tie, but I won't.
Yeah, but then we have to tie break, in which case... You know? Like, but yeah, so Kilmercast, we're gonna try and get back. I'm gonna try and get back into the swing of things. It's me. I'm the problem. Actually, it's not Grimmia. I am a problem. But yeah, for a Christmas special, we saw Nosferatu. Separately. We just both happened to see it.
I forgot it came out, and then I saw something. I saw something about the rats. The trained rats. And I texted my friend...
Was it that Willem Dafoe was very happy to work with them?
Yeah, he said they were the greatest co-stars he's ever had.
Yeah.
I just texted my friend Nosferatu, and that was it. He's like, "Did you want to go see it? Was there more to this?"
Was it just a thought?
It was in a group with Guppy, and he's like, "Yeah, she wants to go see it." Like, yeah.
We were at Christmas with my wife's side of the family, And my sister-in-law was like, yeah, we want to see Nosferatu. And I was like, oh yeah, I'd love to see that. And so we made plans to go see it. We saw it New Year's Day.
It was so good.
It was really good, but it was also so emotionally heavy that I had to watch Wicked later that day to, like, cleanse my soul.
I mean, I didn't, but I don't have a soul, so.
That's fair. That's fair. But no, I just, like, do you know what I mean? Like, the content of the movie weighed on me so heavily. I was like...
it was very heavy.
I need to watch something that's light and easy and has Ariana Grande in a pink dress. And I don't feel like putting Victorious on right now, so I guess it's Wicked. Yeah, no, Wicked was also, just as a side note, like, Wicked was fantastic. I held space for the lyrics of Defying Gravity. And, jokes aside, though, the performances were all stellar in it, and I'm actually, like, I didn't see it, because it was New Year's Day, so it had already come out on streaming, but I definitely will be seeing part 2 in theaters.
I haven't seen Wicked yet.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I haven't seen the musical, so this is my first.
I have seen the musical.
Yeah, I don't get musicals to go see. I mean, I know Wicked came to the city I lived in when I was a kid, because I distinctly remember seeing posters for it at, like, the store on, like, the bulletin board, but I was, like, 12 or 10, and I wasn't gonna go see Wicked. I was like, I don't know what that is. Some Wizard of Oz, I guess, and just moved on. And now, at 28, I'm like, fuck! I could have seen Wicked. Yeah.
Like early Wicked too.
Yeah, I could have seen it like over a decade ago. Oh. Yeah. Alas. Mistakes were made.
Alas.
I try to keep an eye on shows that come to the city now. Not just even like musicals specifically, but like comedy shows and stuff. Me and Lindsay went to like a small theater downtown. Very tiny theater, very small seats, but we saw Randy Feltface there.
Oh, nice.
It was so funny. I laughed so hard. I had never. This is my first time seeing like ever going to like a live stand-up show. It was great. It was absolutely worth it. I would go see Randy again, and I would go see John Mulaney if he were to come to the city. So probably won't, but if he did.
But well, we know he listens to this show. So.
John Mulaney definitely listens to. John Mulaney, issues aside, is absolutely like a comfort. Funny. He's also like weirdly comforting for me. I have so many of the bits memorized. I listen to John Mulaney albums to fall asleep. I will put on a playlist of sleep sounds on Spotify, but then I will go queue up 2 to 3 John Mulaney albums to just listen to, because I know them, so I don't have to like follow along. But if I can't sleep, it just gives me something to like kind of check out to.
Yeah.
And if I can sleep, I just fall asleep. Right, and then a couple of hours later, it just segues into sleep sounds for the rest of the night, and it actually, remarkably, it helps me sleep a lot. So, John Mulaney, man. Anyways, Nosferatu. Fosneratu.
Nosferatu.
Do we want to like give like a plot summary of the movie?
I mean, it's just Dracula.
Yeah, like, for those of you... Okay, so... Context for the uninitiated. In the early 1900s, a German production company was like, we would like to make an adaptation of Dracula for the screen, and it was not yet in the public domain, and Bram Stoker's estate was like, no. And they were like, "Oh shit!"
They didn't even ask. Actually, they just made it.
Wait, no, I could have sworn they asked.
I don't think they ever asked. And then
let me source my information from
Stoker's
Wikipedia.
Widow found out and was like, "Hey, you got to change this shit." So they changed some stuff, and then she still sued him.
Oh yeah, okay. So it's Nosferatu is produced by Prana Film, and it is an unauthorized adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Various names and other details were changed from the novel, including Count Dracula being renamed Count Orlok.
Yeah.
Although these changes are often
in the original German titles, it still says like based on Dracula. So they didn't do a very good job of changing things.
Yeah. Film historian David Callett states in his commentary track that since the film was a low-budget film made by Germans for German audiences, setting it in Germany with German-named characters, it makes the story more tangible and immediate for German-speaking viewers. Even with the details altered, Stoker's widow sued over the adaptation's copyright violation. A court ruling ordered all copies of the film to be destroyed.
So they sent it. They sent copies out. Copies had already been sent out. So the copies that had been sent out weren't destroyed. Which is
you can see a like 92-minute cut of the film on YouTube.
Yeah, because it's free. It's public domain. Which is why we got such masterpieces as Shadow of a Vampire, which is a movie about F.W. Murnau, played by John Malkovich, making Nosferatu, but the actor he hired, Max Schreck, played by Willem Dafoe, is actually a real vampire.
Yes.
Good luck finding that movie. You will actually have to buy it, a physical version of it, which is what my friend had to do for her husband. She bought a $30 copy of the DVD off of eBay for him. And it was worth every penny, because that movie is so good. With the fucking... his long-ass fingernails. But anyways, this is the second time Willem Dafoe has been in a Nosferatu movie.
Yeah, this time, though, he's not Nosferatu or Nosferatu adjacent. He is the Abraham Van Helsing character. Yeah, so, before we get into the details, because like, okay, it is a adaptation of Dracula, but it does also change a lot of things. I have seen on Reddit this movie unfairly compared to Bram Stoker's Dracula, like the movie.
It's very different. Because that is based off of Dracula.
But here's the thing. It's based off of Dracula, but then also changes a shit ton of stuff to be way sexier.
Yeah, it makes Dracula very sexy, because the book is so fucking boring.
It is, but
I read it. Like,
it makes.
It's a requirement.
I tried reading it,
and it's so boring. Like, oh my god.
So the original in Bram Stoker's Dracula, key things that are in the movie that are not in the book. Jonathan and Mina have like a basically loveless marriage in the movie. Mina is pretty much with him because he's like stable, and that's
they're just engaged.
Right. Yes, you are.
At that point,
I believe you're correct.
Engaged.
But sorry, I am mixing things up with Nosferatu a little bit.
Yeah, Jonathan and Mina are engaged to be married, and then they do get married in the movie.
But the whole time, she's basically clearly way more interested in the super sexy Dracula.
This man keeps appearing in her dreams and visions.
And in her garden.
Well, that's...
That is not how it goes in the book. In the book, she's like, whoa, fuck this guy. My husband's
hella
great.
Devoted to Jonathan in the book.
But they wanted vampire to be sexy, so they made Jonathan boring. Not helped by a 90s Keanu Reeves performance.
Keanu. Well, yeah, that's pretty... Francis Ford Coppola felt so awkward trying to direct the ladies when they were having their sexy moments. I think he hired some lady to do it specifically.
It's called an intimacy coordinator?
Well, this was before we had intimacy coordinators.
So he pioneered it.
Basically, because he was like, this is awkward as shit because I am old.
Yeah, he's like, this is fucking... I don't know.
They did have an intimacy coordinator on Nosferatu, on this Nosferatu. I was very curious because...
there's a lot going on.
Her nipples are weird.
Whose?
Lily Rose Depp's.
Okay.
We don't have to go any further with that. I just want everybody to know. That's what I've been telling people about this movie.
Okay, here's a Screen Rant article just with every way Coppola's movie deviates from Bram Stoker's novel. The most notable difference is that in the book, Dracula as an old man bears some resemblance to Vlad the Impaler, but no clear connections are ever drawn between them. In the movie, though, Van Helsing concludes that Dracula is Vlad the Impaler and that he's become immortal after becoming a vampire. Another difference concerns the character of Jonathan Harker. In the book, Harker escapes Dracula's castle after the vampire departs for England. In the 1992 movie, though, he's kept captive by Dracula's vampire brides, who periodically drink his blood before he's finally able to escape. Another deviation concerns the character of Mina. In the book, Dracula forces her to drink his blood, but in the movie, he leaves the decision up to her. Also in the book, Mina does not fall in love with Dracula as she does in the movie. Instead, she is consumed with hatred for him over how he has terrorized her and fights hard to stay loyal to her husband. Another big change comes at the end of the movie. Jonathan Harker and the character Quincy Morris are unable to reach Dracula's coffin before sunset, so he breaks free for a final struggle. In the book, they have an easier time chasing down the coffin successfully before stabbing Dracula's heart and beheading him. Also in the book, Dracula instantly dies and turns to dust. Well, in the movie, Mina must put Dracula out of his misery in an added romantic plot point. An additional change is that while Bram Stoker's Dracula described the character of Lucy as prim and proper, in the movie she's made out to be voracious. Yeah. Also in the book, it's not clear how Dracula became a vampire. Meanwhile, it's told that it happened after he won the war and lost his wife. What's more, Dracula clearly falls in love with Mina in the movie, thinking she's a reincarnation of his dead wife, but in the book, he doesn't seem to be capable of feeling love, and there's actually no romantic component to the story. The whole base of the book actually is that Dracula is trying to spread his undead curse across England, while the plot of the movie centers on his search for Mina. So they basically made it, like I said, sexier. Now, I have to be clear, I still like the movie. But I want to be very, very clear that the comparisons of Nosferatu to this, being like, oh, it's inferior. It's like, it's more accurate. Nosferatu is a more accurate Dracula than Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah, they're different.
So.
Because Nosferatu, I think, goes along the whole... Oh no, he just shows up and then he sees that picture of her and then he starts stalking her.
He was already stalking her.
In the original Nos? No, in the 1920s.
Oh, yes. Okay, so in the 1920s Nosferatu, he just, he sees the picture of her and starts stalking her.
In the new one, they were colluding.
Well, not... I feel like colluding makes it sound like she was in on it.
No, they were in some kind of romantic relationship.
So what happened? What happened specifically is, so Ellen, who is the character that is replacing Mina in this story, is given psychic powers, and she's played by Lily Rose Depp, who, weird nipples aside, gives a fantastic performance.
I also kind of forgot her forehead was just like that.
Huge.
Well, so back then in like the 1800s, but it would make sense because this is in Germany and this trend happened more in England. But in the 1800s, when I want to say it was Queen Victoria in the Victorian times, she had that really big forehead, so women would pluck their hair that far back. So I thought that was what they were doing, and now I realize that's just how Lily looks. Forehead looks like, yeah. So it's two things. She does a very good job at looking like a Victorian lady because it was very on trend to do that.
Even though the movie's set in Germany, as you said. So she has psychic powers, and as a result, feels isolated from everybody. And so, as a young girl, she basically calls out through her psychic link into the ether. And asks for a friend, a guardian angel, something, and instead it awakens Count Orlok, Nosferatu.
Like Lilo and Stitch.
What the fuck?
She asked for a friend, the nicest one you have, and instead she got scary Skarsgård boy. Clacking around on
the difference being, Orlok legitimately mind rapes her. Yeah. Like, it's mental, but she is laying on the ground, legs spread, shaking like she's being raped. I guess, content warning. Heavy.
Wait for a content warning.
We should put a content warning at the beginning of the episode. and in the description. Probably. I didn't think of that. I'm very sorry, everyone. But heavy themes of sexual assault and rape. Minors DNI. So she basically reaches out to that, and that's how the movie starts, is her first interaction with Orlok. And then we cut forward, and she's married to Thomas, newly married to Thomas, who is an estate broker, who is like...
He wants to become a partner in his firm.
Yeah, to give them a better life. Yeah. She is happy with the life they have, but he, being very in love with her, thinks she deserves the best. And his boss has really just been dangling this promotion in front of him for a long time.
Yeah, we later find out why, but...
Yeah, so he's like, oh, okay, well, hey, I have one more job for you, and then you can go get this promotion. This old dude from Romania would like to buy some property here. He's not doing well. He wants to just like come here, chill out, retire. And he's like, oh, okay. So like, when he gets here, like, we'll sign the papers. No, you need to go to him. He needs to go sign. He needs to sign them there.
So infirm, he cannot travel.
Yeah.
So you better go.
And you have to escort him back here.
Yep.
And he's in Transylvania. And so then you're like, oh shit. Okay.
Romania is a very far way away.
Yes.
So he goes because he's stupid. He's so dumb. He goes and he meets the Count.
Well, so first of all, his wife does not want him to go. She's like, no, stay here. Like, you're gonna be gone for what, like 6 weeks?
8 weeks or 6 or 8 weeks.
And he's like, but when I come back, they'll make me a partner and we can have a great life. So he leaves her with their friends. Who
are a couple with 2 kids.
Two daughters and a boy on the way. And they are played... so Thomas is played by Nicholas Hoult. Again, great performance. Everyone's performance is great, so I'm not going to specify it for everyone. Everyone does awesome.
Especially the rats.
Yes. Grimmia was very proud of them. The couple are Friedrich and
Anna.
And they are played respectively by Aaron Taylor Johnson and Emma Corrin. I was especially pleased with Aaron Taylor Johnson because I haven't seen him in a lot.
I haven't seen him in a lot, and I was trying to figure out where I knew him from.
He was Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. He was also Kick-Ass.
Yeah, oh my god, he is! Oh my god, he got hot.
Yeah, I know, right? He's also Kraven the Hunter, but...
He's in Godzilla, too, the American
Yes,
Godzilla.
Yeah, where he's married to his sister from Age of Ultron. That was fun
because I remember in interviews, they asked him...
Was it weird switching?
When they were interviewing for Age of Ultron, they asked her about playing a superhero, and he's like, well, she was a nurse in this other movie we played, and that's like an actual real life thing.
That's so nice of him.
Yeah.
He's also
he has good vibes.
You might also know him from being married to a cradle robber.
Is he?
Oh God, yeah. Here, let me.
That's an aside. We can do that later.
Just real quick, his wife is 57. He's 34.
Anyway,
they've been married since 2012. So 12 years ago, he was 22.
They met when he was 18.
Yeah, cradle robber. It's rough. Yeah, he was 18, she was 42. The couple announced their engagement a year later when he was 19. It's bad. Anyways, not important other than just, hey, that's where you might know him from, that bit of news. So he leaves Ellen with them, and Ellen is suffering from seizures. To everyone else, she is having horrible nightmares of Count Orlok.
Visions.
Yeah, visions and nightmares of Count Orlok. So Thomas goes, and he's like, I am going to go to Romania, And as he goes to Romania, we get a quick scene of his boss naked doing some ritual shit, and we find out that he is the familiar, essentially.
Yeah.
For Nosferatu. So that's why he's been dangling this promotion and fucking with Thomas.
A puppet trying to get Thomas to go
yes.
fuck off. Basically.
And he has been promised immortality by the Count. So Thomas goes to this Romanian village to stay the night, and they basically, he's like, hey, I'm gonna go to the castle, and they're like, fucking don't. But he can't understand them because he doesn't speak Romanian or their language.
Classic.
He is like, he goes to sleep, he has a weird dream vision where he sees the townsfolk sacrifice a virgin girl to a vampire.
Which may or may not have been real. He could have possibly seen
that's why I said dream vision, but also maybe not. And then he wakes up finding the entire town is deserted and his horse is gone. So it does beg the question, did they steal his horse because they suck, or did they steal it in an attempt to stop him from going to the castle? I personally believe it's the second one, that they were trying to stop him from getting to the castle because they know it's fucking dangerous. So anyways, he, wanting to provide for his wife, goes to the castle anyway, and on his way there, he is intercepted, I guess, by a dark stagecoach with no driver.
That old chestnut. Which is, that's a really good, when he, like, the door opens and you see him flying towards the carriage.
It was
so very good shot.
So by this point, your stomach is in knots.
It is very well shot.
You're not, the movie is doing such a good job at this point of not scaring you, but you're full of dread.
Dread, yeah.
You know horrible things are going to happen, but you don't know when. And so you're just like, ugh, the whole time. It's really well done. So he gets to the castle, and it is like dark in both outside and inside the castle, and Orlok is ordering him around right away. The castle's empty except for him and Orlok and some rats. And Orlok is basically teleporting off screen. Like, he'll be like on one side of him, like right near him, and then suddenly he'll be on the other side of him across the table, but like in the blink of an eye with no sound, nothing. It's so well done, and it makes Nosferatu so scary. There's no like whoosh sound effect accompanying it
just
there. Yeah. And it's like, oh god, he can be anywhere, anytime.
The Skarsgård boy, that is his actual voice.
Like, he's doing the voice?
Yeah, he trained with an Icelandic opera singer.
That's incredible.
To get his voice to drop to that low of a register.
If you are not sure where you know Bill Skarsgård from, he famously played Pennywise in It Chapters 1 and 2. He is...
he's on my smash list.
I don't blame you. That he's out of makeup, good-looking dude.
Yeah, sure. Not as Pennywise. It's not. It was the Hemlock Grove series is when I first saw him in.
I
don't remember if it was good or not. So it was weird, and I think his mom made out with him. I'm not entirely sure. It was in college. It was a long time ago.
No, he looks fine in it. I get it.
Really, the only demerits against him are the Crow.
I don't blame him for that. He was a good choice.
That wasn't his fault. That it would definitely be everybody else's fault for that movie.
Like, that movie shouldn't have been remade, but if you're gonna remake it, he is a good choice.
If they had done a Eric who looked like...
If they had done anything better.
Rapper. But
anyways, so...
That's our special for the next time we disappear.
We're
not going to watch that movie, though. We're just going
to rant about it. kind of
talk
aimlessly.
about how good the original one is.
We'll watch the original with Brandon Lee.
The first time Guppy watched it,
yeah,
he texted me. I knew he was watching it, and he just said, "This is the gothiest movie to ever goth."
Okay, that's fair.
Like, yeah, well, you open up with The Cure, so yeah.
Yeah. But it's The Cure, Friday I'm in Love.
Well, it's a good song. It's a good song.
It's also just their least gothy song.
Yeah, well, Robert Smith had a girlfriend at the time, so, you know.
He had a girlfriend for 20 minutes. He's like, I wrote a song. And then she left him. He's like, well, we may as well use it. Fuck. He's happy for 5 minutes. So
Meanwhile,
anyways,
in Germany,
Orlok is, you know, being super creepy. He is forcing Thomas to eat and drink. The fire is flickering. Statues seem to be moving in the dark. And Orlok sends him to bed after looking at him with barely disguised lust when he pricks his finger on a knife. He also takes a look at the locket that Thomas has with a picture of his wife in it and does not give it back to him.
Before he left, she gave him a piece of her hair, which is a very romantic thing to do, which is what I keep telling Guppy, and he keeps saying, get your hair out of all of my stuff. So
that's so rude.
He also doesn't want me to bite him. So
rude.
I don't know what's going on.
Well, I don't what. How are you, does he not want you to like rub your head on him and put your scent on him either? Like,
I don't know.
How are people supposed to know he's taken? What the fuck is this?
That's what I keep telling him.
They'll know you're taken by the bite marks.
All those men he has to change in front of at work are gonna know he's taken.
So they can't have him. Anyways. Meanwhile, so this was going on in Transylvania. Meanwhile, in Germany, Ellen's seizures and visions are getting worse.
So much that Friedrich ties her to the fucking bed.
Yes.
He doesn't know what to do, and they get a doctor who is not a terrible person.
Friedrich is an asshole in this movie, but it's hard to blame him because the thing is, he's not presented as being just a dick. He's presented as, I care about my wife and my kids.
Terrible situation. I can't put my wife's friend out. She has no husband in the country right now.
Yeah.
And she is clearly unwell.
And it's also my wife's friend and my friend's wife.
Yeah.
Like, she's not my friend, but she's my wife's best friend and my good friend's wife. So I'm going to be a good person. I'm going to take care of her, but I don't know what to do about this. As far as I know, she is hysterical.
Classic hysteria. They should have just give her some laudanum. They do dose her with some ether.
They should have given her a cocaine for the ghosts in her blood.
Yeah. She did have a lot of blood.
And probably ghosts in it. Anyways, yeah, so the doctor shows up and doses her with ether. At the same time, Thomas's boss is in jail for murdering sheep. And he's lost his...
But they don't know it's him yet.
I mean, we know it's him.
We know it's him, but they have no idea who this crazy man is that's eating sheep and rats.
Yeah, he's murdered sheep, he's eating rats, and we see him bite the head off of a bird. It's disgusting. It's like spurting blood. And so all of this together and like all the visions and nightmares, the Dr. Sievers, who is a good man, but does not have the experience necessary to deal with what is happening. He's applying the best techniques he knows.
Played by Ralph Ineson, who was also in some other Robert Eggers stuff, too.
The Northman, probably?
Yeah, I think he was in The Witch, too.
I think he was the dad in The Witch.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he was in Lighthouse, because it was just two people.
Yes. So he reaches out to his...
Professor.
His old mentor, Professor... What's his name? I don't remember.
Not Van Helsing.
No. Legally Distinct Van Helsing, played by Willem Dafoe.
Von Franz.
Von Franz, legally distinct
A
from Von
Swiss
Helsing.
philosopher, and later Sievers tells Friedrich that, oh yeah, by the way, he's kind of disbarred and doesn't have a medical license because people think he's crazy.
So anyways, they reach out to him and he comes and he takes a look at Ellen, but we will get to that after we jump back to Romania, where in day 2, Thomas wakes up in the cold, empty castle with bite marks on him.
That's a totally normal way to wake up.
Someone's been drinking my blood. And they're still there, said the 3 bears. So that night, Nosferatu, Count Orlok, brings Thomas into, like, his study or whatever, and is like, all right, here is the contract for you to sign the property over to me, because that is the whole reason for Thomas's stay there, is to sign this property over to him. However, the contract for signing this property is really suspicious looking. It's in
Very
a really
long.
It's huge. It's in black and red, and it's in a foreign language. But Thomas signs it anyway, kind of at this point out of desperation to get the fuck out of here.
Orlok also, he's like, oh, I don't know what this says. Thomas is like, Orlok is like, it's my native tongue. And then he hands him a sack of gold before he signs. Like, hey, maybe sign this, and I'll give you a tip if you sign this, so we can.
Well, yeah, it was like implied to be a tip, but it's also like, oh right, this is your fee, because Thomas's boss earlier in the movie said like, oh yeah, you'll get a good fee from him if you do this as well. So Thomas went there expecting the money, and Orlok gave him this money, and then he signed it. And as far as Thomas knows, he's now signed the property over to Orlok.
And he's ready to go, but it's late, suspiciously.
And
he's unwell.
And he's unwell and Orlok's like, nope, you're in no state to travel. You will stay.
Bad luck to travel when you're sick.
Yeah, you will stay until you're better. Do you want to now explain what happens in Germany with Von Franz?
He inspects, what's the word for it when it's a person?
Examines, thank you. Yes.
He examines Ellen. They have a whole kerfuffle about her being tied up.
Which he's not on board with.
Yeah, he's not on board with any of this.
Not on board with the tying up, not on board with the ether.
Friedrich thinks it's all because Thomas is gone. Von Franz puts 2 and 2 together and figures out that Ellen is under the spell of some kind of demon. So they're going to have her, they're going to do an exorcism. And
which is poor.
Thomas's boss and Ellen both start having the same dream visions about Orlok arriving.
And from Thomas's perspective, Orlok turns into a naked Ellen before chowing down on him.
Yeah, that was wild.
And from what happens from Ellen's perspective?
I don't remember.
I believe that she has more visions of Orlok kerbanging her.
Yeah, she starts putting together the past, the memories.
Yeah. So that's kind of where, yeah. So, Ellen also, like, before being tied up, started seizuring when they were at the seaside, and that was a really uncomfortable scene. She, like, is, like, in the lake, legs spread, dress hiked up, and it's very funny, but it's also really uncomfortable. Because, like, you know what's going on.
I don't remember what happened. Somebody said something that was just so funny to me, and I was the only person who laughed in the theater, and
you're like, I feel ashamed.
It's like in Guardians 2, when Quill is like, my mom always said you were from space, but she had a brain tumor. And I was dying laughing at that part.
I know a guy who, he went to see Guardians, like the first one in the theaters, and when the mom died, he loudly shouted, "First blood." And I'm like, you know what? That's like the funniest fucking. What a good bit. First blood. Just gonna start shouting "First Blood" the first time anyone dies in any movie.
Oh yeah, in Germany they put together other things. They figure out that who the guy they arrested was that was eating the things. That's Thomas's boss, so they go to his office. That's when Sievers and Von France put together that Ellen and this other guy are having the same thing.
And they're dealing with Nosferatu.
Yeah. Because he's got a devil circle underneath his floorboards.
So,
and a book about summoning demons.
So the next morning, Thomas finds Orlok asleep in a coffin in the crypt. Like, he is going through this empty castle. He feels horrible. And he finds...
dogs.
Yeah, he finds Orlok. He picks up an iron stake, opens the coffin, goes to stake him. But Orlok awakens and attacks him, and then feeds on his blood and leaves him for dead. And the way Orlok feeds on his blood is so fucking disturbing, because Orlok is naked. He doesn't go
for, like, the sexy neck bite, either.
He goes for the heart. Like, so he's biting on their chest, but he also, and this is clearly on purpose, he's doing a lot of thrusting while he does it.
Yeah.
So it clearly looks, so it's very, very sexual. And so it looks just outright. Gross. Yeah, he's like decayed. He looks like a living corpse.
Bones moving and
yeah,
shit.
So he looks like he's sexually assaulting Thomas, and he's supposed to look like he's sexually assaulting Thomas. And so the next morning, Orlok's wolves continue to attack Thomas, and Thomas jumps or falls from a window into a river while escaping, and is later found and nursed back to health by nuns at a nearby church, who urge him to stay.
They tell him not to go.
Yeah, they're like, don't go, like, you need to recover, and he's like, no, I need to go to my wife, which is yet again another way that they actually fucking love each other. It's really
also,
nice.
There's the implication that the priest knew what was going on with the whole vampire in the tower thing and kept trying to tell him to stay.
Just to, like, not deal with it.
He knew there was great evil, you know, like, buddy, don't do that.
Yeah, but he rushes back to Germany to protect Ellen because he loves her. At the same time, Orlok prepares to sail with a crate of...
on a voyage.
Yeah, the last voyage of the Demeter. No one saw that movie.
Yeah. I wanted to, but I never got around to it.
I kind of wanted to, yeah. You gotta watch it. That one, watch with Bram Stoker's Dracula. Watch until the part when Dracula gets on the boat. Pause, watch the entirety of Last Voyage of the Demeter, and then finish watching Dracula. I'm not kidding. Like, that's exactly what you should do.
Yeah. On the boat, it gets infected with plague, basically.
Yeah. So, Orlok goes to Germany with a coffin to sustain him and plague-infested rats. He ends up killing the whole crew of the ship, and
the boat crashes, which is when Friedrich gets notified because he owns the port or works at the port.
I think he owns it. He's very wealthy. Yeah. And that's where we get the 20,000 rats all scurrying off the boat.
5,000 rats.
5,000. That's where we get 5,000, my bad. Rats scurrying off the boat to infect Wisburg with the plague.
If
which
you can see him moving,
does happen.
Real rats.
Yeah, so they search the boss's office. The boss's name is Nock, actually. And like you said, they discover that Orlok is the Nosferatu. So
Orlok shows up to Ellen. That's when Thomas returns.
Okay, so this is actually like my favorite part of the movie, because it's really good. Ellen jolts awake in the night and is like, he's here, and you think she's talking about Nosferatu, and she runs outside into the rain, and we see a horse carrying Thomas approach as he falls off the horse. And I don't know, I just loved it, because it's so clear that they love each other. This vampire is not hot, she does not want the vampire, she loves her husband. It's just it's important.
She just wanted a friend.
Yeah, she just wanted a friend, she does not want to fuck the vampire. She's great.
The whole shtick is she can only go willingly to Orlok too. Like,
which
you
is
can't coerce her in any fashion.
Which is like super, again, like very heavy on like grooming and abuse. It's like he wants the validation that she chose this. So I think that's really interesting. So Orlok basically shows up and threatens Ellen, and he's like, I am going to fucking ruin your life for 3 nights. And if by the 3rd night you do not want me, I will kill your husband. So the first night he sicks plague rats on
the city.
Anna.
Well, yeah.
But like
the whole fucking city.
The whole city, but specifically on Anna to like harm Ellen.
To convince Ellen that this is real and this is happening.
Yeah. So with that happening, Friedrich kicks them out of the house.
Before that happens, actually, when Thomas gets back, and then
no, because
they stay a night.
Because
they stay a night with Friedrich and Anna, then they go home because he's like, "There's a fucking plague. Me and my family are out of here." Friedrich is. So they go home.
Yeah.
She has another meltdown, and they bone.
Well, and this is a very crucial meltdown, because this is where we find out.
Before was like, hey, he divorced you. I paid him for you.
The contract that Thomas signed was not actually to sign over the derelict house. It was divorce papers.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think those have legal recourse in Germany.
Well, it's the old times, you know?
Yeah, but I don't think divorce papers written up by a vampire have legal recourse, like with, you know, the Catholic Church.
Well, yeah, that's true. They'd still be Catholics. Or
Orthodox, so they're going to look at me like, no.
Well,
anyways,
I wouldn't even be able to go into the church, so.
Anyways, so she's like, you divorced me and you don't love me, like you never wrote to me, which, because he said he would write to her, and she's like, you never wrote to me, and obviously he couldn't because he was like getting fucked up by vampires.
He did up until he got to the castle.
Yeah, and Orlok wouldn't let him post letters anyway, and then...
Which, in the book, some of the stuff you're reading are Jonathan and Mina's letters back and forth.
Yes.
And it's the same thing. Dracula says he'll post Jonathan's letters for him, and then he does.
So Ellen finally reveals to Thomas that Orlok has been sexing her since she was a child. And then in a... I'm not sure if she was possessed in this moment or what happened. She basically tells Thomas that Orlok's a better lover than him.
I think she was possessed, honestly.
And then they have sex
very
uncomfortably but the driving point is that she is basically saying, like, telling Thomas to like lay his claim to her in a way Orlok can see, like which prove he can.
You go out over the city and there's the shadow of Orlok across the entire fucking city.
So he can see it, and it's basically them trying to prove to him, it's like, you can't come between us. It's very, this is what I mean about the movie. It's really heavy. Like, it's very dark and heavy, but it's also strangely romantic in like they're united together against him. But it's also really uncomfortable because it's super aggressive. But in a more romantic moment after that, she basically like tries to like claim herself as damaged goods, and he's like, absolutely not, like, I love you. Which I think is really nice because, again, using the allegory of rape, it's really easy for like a rape victim to feel like, you know, they're broken in some way, and for her partner to affirm that she's not is really nice. And they embrace, and it's very nice. Orlok sees this, and he's like, well, I'm gonna show you guys,
I gotta start killing again,
just how powerful I am, and he murders the children.
He does some evil sex magic on Friedrich, which doesn't let him wake.
Yeah.
And then he starts killing their kids, and their screams wake up Anna.
And that is
she gets murdered.
absolute darkest moment in the entire movie. You can't see it because it's like it's in shadows. You see a silhouette. You're seeing like holding the child by the neck, and then he drops them.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so well shot and it's so well executed that they don't need to show you anything more than that. Obviously, no child is really hurt. Obviously, he had a doll or whatever. But it's executed so well, and you've seen these little girls throughout the movie that your gut twists. So anyways, yeah, go on with what he was doing. Sorry.
Yeah, he murders them.
Yeah.
Von France does more research. They have a funeral for Anna. And they try to convince Friedrich to come help them, and at this point he's like, I have to, because he killed my wife. And they figure out, with Von France's help, that they can... Orlok needs to rest. He needs to sleep in the dirt of his homeland every day.
Yeah.
So before dawn breaks, they can go break into his new house, find his coffin, and Thomas can kill him. But
this is completely not true at all.
That's not true. Von France figures out the only way you can kill him is if you sacrifice a maiden, which is what the villagers were trying to do.
Yeah, basically the sun will kill him.
Yeah, but Ellen has to trap him, more or less.
Yeah, so Friedrich essentially realizes he has the plague, loses his mind, goes to the mausoleum where his wife and kids are kept, opens his wife's coffin, and bangs her corpse.
Yeah, that was strange.
In despair.
Hi, Lily.
Sievers, Thomas, and Von Franz find their bodies and burn them, again. And also at this point you see that the plague is like rampant.
Ravaging the fucking
people.
city.
There are bodies being burnt in the streets. Sievers Hospital is overrun. They can't take any more people.
But Sievers does try. He does say we need to take in more. To be fair,
he is a good character, and I like him. But it's just flat out like there's no space. It's not. I don't want to deal with anymore. It's like there's no room for these people. So Von Franz, like Ellen can clearly tell that Von Franz has a plan, and he reveals it to her, and he's like, I will keep your husband distracted so you can do this. So they go to Orlok's house, and they find Knock in Orlok's coffin and kill him, and Von Franz burns the crypt down. They realize
figures out it was a ploy.
And at the same time, Ellen has psychically summoned Nosferatu, being like, I will give myself to you.
Yeah.
So Orlok comes in, feasts on her blood, and they bang, and she bangs him so good, he does not realize the sun came up. And it kills him.
He shrivels up and dies. What's wrong, Lily? Do you need to go out?
She might.
Oh, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna let my dogs out really quick.
She'll edit this out later. She's letting her dogs out on a spacewalk.
I'll go outside. Okay.
I hope she doesn't get that part out about the spacewalk. That'd be funny if we kept that in. I think that's a good bit.
Coffee members can listen to Podcast Night on Gargantua-1 early. Link available in the show notes or YouTube description.
My brain was about to jump straight to the intro question. Wow.
Hey, we don't have.
Who are we? You don't need to know that. All that matters is the story.
Yep.
If you're enjoying what our mystery show is doing, there are numerous ways to support the show on our Beacons page.
Show?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did. Mystery TTRPG Theater 5000.
Catch the chaos live Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/The Forgotten Troop. What have I missed?
Oh, I didn't say anything. I just said that you took your dogs on a spacewalk.
Oh, yes. Usually they don't bug me when I'm down here.
So yeah, the movie ends with Orlok dying, the plague being brought to an end. Thomas comes in, like, right as the sun is burning up Orlok, which means, thankfully, the last thing Ellen sees is him as she dies from blood loss.
Yeah, he waits until the sun is completely up.
Yeah.
And until she's dead.
Yeah, and so he holds her hand as she dies, and it's beautiful. And that brings to an end a great movie. Like, it was so good. And like I said, so heavy, as you guys can probably tell, just with the themes of sexual assault and you know, women not being believed in that time, and, you know, love and abuse, and it's heavy. It's a heavy movie. Robert Eggers, I think, did an unbelievable job bringing that to screen.
He does very good.
Yeah.
Like, everything he's made has been very well done.
Yeah,
some of it is in black and white, usually the dreams, which is when you can start to tell that, or the visions, things are not quite what they seem.
Yeah.
Because even Thomas has one when he's walking those crossroads. It's just such a stark black and white on the snow, and then the rest of everything, the road and the trees are all dark.
And Robert Eggers is great at, you know, like, directing, but he's also really good at putting together dark and grim period pieces. If you like period pieces, or if you like dark things, you will like him. This is actually the first movie of his I've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
The only one I've ever seen is The Lighthouse, and I've seen it twice. I need to see The Witch, and I need to see The Northman.
I want to see The Witch. I don't know about The Lighthouse, and I would probably see Northman.
Willem Dafoe is in Northman and The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
He's in The Witch.
He's not in The Witch. The only reason I don't want to see the Lighthouse is that one's all in black and white, and the lighting and the shadows are so stark, it's very frightening.
It is bananas.
Yeah.
Like,
I've read the plot of it. I know kind of like what happens, but I don't know if it's for me.
I firmly believe they just abandoned Willem Dafoe at a lighthouse for a long time.
And then brought Robert Pattinson on.
Robert Pattinson, they're like, hey, we're gonna go film this movie. Willem Dafoe's already there. We're gonna go get everything set up, and then then it just gets weird. I really like Willem Dafoe. He's just fantastic.
Yeah, he is. He's in such a career resurgence right now.
Did his career never really stopped, honestly.
But I mean in a way that, like,
he's been doing indie stuff, I guess, now for the last 10 years. He just kind of does whatever he feels like.
His career fell off, but in the 2010s, there wasn't a lot. He did stuff that I guess people weren't really seeing. And then I think with his turn in Lighthouse, it suddenly clicked for people. It's like, oh, wait, he's really, really good. And the thing is, he was never bad. So, it's suddenly it's like, oh, he's really, really good, you know? But I mean, we all, if you knew, you knew, you know?
Yeah.
He's been in stuff for, oh gosh, what's Wes Anderson?
Yes, he's done a few Wes Andersons.
Yeah.
Three I can think of off the top of my head.
He's done voice work for things. He was in Fantastic Mr. Fox, which is also Wes Anderson, but that's voice work.
Mm-hmm.
He, had a role in Cirque. I'm just looking at his filmography, Cirque du Freak, John Carter. you know, again, Wes Anderson's Grand Budapest Hotel, John Wick, Murder on the Orient Express, The Lighthouse.
Is also in Streets of Fire, which is wild.
He had an insane turn in No Way Home as Green Goblin.
God, I love that. Also, another firm belief that they didn't warn Tom Holland.
They just let him
set Norman Osborn loose on the cast.
They're just like, hey, go do some stuff. Yeah, like Willem Dafoe's phenomenal. He's so good. Huge respect for the man. Like, he's super cool. But yeah, definitely, like, go out of your way to see Nosferatu at least once. I don't know if I'm ever gonna see it again.
I probably would.
I probably would.
Mostly
like, I definitely
to figure out to remember what I was laughing at.
Yeah, like I could watch it again. But it is. Oh, excuse me. Ah.
It's heavy.
It's heavy, and you know, you can't just go in and be like, it's not a fun time at the movies, I guess is a way to put it. It's a good time, but you're not like, oh, that was fun. You're just like, damn. Like, I think that's all I could think when I left was just like, damn. And but it was so good, and it pissed me off seeing on Reddit people being like, oh, it was slow, it was boring, it was poorly paced.
Well, yeah, it's because it's supposed to be like an older movie.
Well, and I think that
people, we all kind of forgot.
The pacing worked for the story it was telling. So it wasn't poorly paced, it just wasn't fast paced. You know?
It's not a Mission Impossible.
And that's fine. But I think a lot of people expected it to be. They expected a more traditional vampire film or more exciting vampire film with like jump scares and stuff. And it's like, that's not what this is.
There were a few jump scares.
There definitely were, but it's like, that's not what this is about. This really, to me, was so good at bringing vampire lore back to the themes of sexuality that kind of permeated it in original documents, because vampires have been used as an allegory for sex heavily in media, and it's just such a good movie. It's so good. I don't know if I have any more to say about it.
You should probably try and watch the original, because it's free. You might as well.
It's only an hour and a half.
Uh-huh. You should definitely watch Shadow of a Vampire.
If you can.
It is bananas. Good luck finding it. Willem Dafoe does a great job in it, with his long, creepy fucking nails.
Yeah. Anyways, I gotta go stake a vampire.
And I have to climb into a coffin for no particular reason.
I'm not staking Grimmia. She's not a vampire. But
I just like to sleep in coffins.
If she was, I wouldn't be staking her because she would be a good vampire. I think. Would you be a good vampire?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You'd be cool?
Vampires can't lie. We, like, explode. They explode.
You can lie?
No, they can't. No, we can't. No.
You're lying right now.
That's not true. You have no proof.
I hope
I'm not even a vampire.
I think you're lying right now.
I like to hang out in coffins and graveyards. Is that so weird?
Do I need to stake you just to be sure?
No.
No wonder we live in space. There's no sun here to melt you.
There's sun in space.
Not where we are! We're on the other side!
The other side of the dark side of the sun?
Yeah! No, we're on the dark side. We're behind the moon.
We just follow the moon's orbit, make sure we're always on this side.
Yeah, we're on the dark side of the moon, and we're, like, tethered to it. Moon vampires.
Moonpires.
What happens if you put a werewolf on the moon?
I don't know.
I don't think anything happens. I think it's the moonlight that transforms them.
I think so. Yeah, that really wouldn't do.
Like, you're just there. Like, I think you'll never transform. Like, sure, you're on the full moon, but, like, there's no moonlight to reflect. Anyways, yeah. Subscribe to us. Join the Kilmer Cast. Join the Discord. Watch me stream. Grimmia does Tales from the Forgotten Troop.
We stream sometimes.
Trim. Yes.
So we'll be back next time, which might be in a week, and it might not be in a week. Nobody knows. And we'll actually be talking about Viva Los Muertos.
Yes, we will be
for
back
about
to
10 minutes, and then we'll
Venture
probably
Bros.
talk about physical media again.
I love physical media so much. I brought it up at dinner today. I was at a dinner and I was talking about it. I was a pretentious douche.